My teacher. Son. Story. Unconditional love. We sat on the carpet, the rug, the home around lit at dusk on a vibrant evening. We sat there, cross-legged, in a quite relaxed, quite cozy living room by the fireplace, though there be no fire. By the furnishings, though there be but modest furnishings. There be plants about, be art about, but in an Eastern way, the space was grounded, of its own nature, calm and inviting. The space its own being. We were grounded there from where we sat on the floor. Across my crossed legs, a kind of divider between us, was a baseball bat. Wooden, classical. Very not practical. Not for its lack of practicality. Surely it was just fine as bats are concerned. However, for this family, for me, this bat was of no use. It had a good weight, however, good feel, a good look. As it was weighted in my hands, so I let its weight fall on the floor between us, pushed it to roll. Unevenly did it roll according to the tapering of its barrel. One wide circle it would have made, if only it rolled more than the few degrees I had pushed it towards you. You could destroy everything in this home. You could take this bat this moment and full of rage, destroy as much as your strength could allow. I would not stop you. How would I stop you, lest we bat each other? As if for this lesson I would have purchased 2 bats. But no, see, I said, explaining. The point is, I would love you no less. My love is unconditional despite what I tell you, despite my words and my actions. The truth behind it all is unconditional, all unconditional. I fail at times to perfectly express that, but let not my failings condition you wrongly to believe in conditions. Love is unconditional, superseding our limited perceptions of its true nature. Of course, if you really were to bat this place to pieces, there'd be certain consequences, no doubt. I hope you wouldn't mind living in a house of debris. Mom, for one, would freak. But we would not scold your actions. How could we? On what grounds would we stand to scold you? This dagger, then? You said. I could take it to your heart? Or worse, perhaps to mine, and you would not scold me? You would not love me any less? It is true. See, for a time the parenting is hard. Your toddler self was hard to keep alive. So we did bark on occasion in matters of emerging peril. But you know the risks now. You know the physics of this world. You can imagine the horrors of jumping from the roof having never landed such a stunt. You can imagine the jolt of electrocution should you shove your metal things into the sockets of walls. You can imagine the inconvenience of slicing your wrist while never having cut yourself. You can imagine the pain we should feel as your parents should you take your own life. The anguish and deep sorrow. Not to lose you, of course, but to have closed the scene on this play. The showstop upon an otherwise perfectly set scene. The chance and opportunity for you to learn, for your soul to learn, and for us to learn by teaching you. Perhaps it is time for the scene to end. Perhaps not. We should think not, but we are not totally privy. We ask you to feel. What feeling is right is not our job to say, but to allow you the space to know for yourself. That was the explanation given, that the foremost honor as parent is as guide, for what the guide can give and receive, that there be no real outcome to child rearing, to life at large, except to evolve the soul and to honor the soul's wishes. For it is the soul's will that creates the soul's life. None other can there be to interfere, except, of course, in the mixing of souls, by which, of course, your reactions are also your souls to choose. At this instance, I'm a few years your elder. I may not even be as evolved as you, but in this moment I am slightly more remembered, more realized in knowing this world. So here I am, having come to teach you as your earthly father. I hope you will accept this teaching as a great privilege, as I accept the opportunity the same. Our time and culture is easy to ask for expectations, but God does not care about the outcome, for the end is assured. God is us. Remember this. The way forward is lonely, for you alone are responsible for your life. But the paradox, you are not alone. Not even God can live your life for you, though God be you. Only you can understand yourself. Do not look towards others for their understanding and acceptance of you. I cannot live for you just as you cannot live for me. But in the end, you realize, as I realize, that we are at once the same, made from God in God. At that knowing, loneliness passes, for there can be no loneliness. God is all around, the fabric of everything. Will you not discipline me? You ask. We will not. We cannot. We ask as your guide to be careful not to discipline too badly yourself. Right behavior is necessary, but right behavior is also your nature. Discipline is not to control you, but to free you from the prison of ignorance, from forgetfulness of God's self. As much as we can be, we will do our best to remind you of your God self, as much as we are living to remind ourselves of our God selves. But please, find no fault with love or God as you understand it from our, perhaps, faltering expression. Though I be your dad, I have also very likely in past lives been your son. So see me as both, and see yourself as both. For the both of us have both been both father and son, son and father, to one another alike. As you have expectations for how I shall act, remember that so have you had those same expectations for me. This is neither a game of superiors nor equals, for though we are threads of the same cloth, we are not the same thread, nor ever can we be. My duties and my colors are my own, and yours are yours. May I teach you what I have learned of this wool, but cast no blame nor hold no illusion for how it appears to be, for only you in your matured experience can understand what your life is to be. No teacher can give you realization. The best we may hope for is to be shown the way. Conversations like these end calmly, or all at once in a boisterous laugh or relieving outburst. So it was when Mother came in yelling for us, "Boys!" to help with dinner. She was yelling at us. Shit, did you turn off the stove? Me looked at me and laughed. It was hard not to laugh at Mom's upset with us, for little things given our present context for what seemed to envelop the everything. No, came your furtive smile. Coming, I said, our scene now cast. Aside.